up and sit down.
Hey, welcome to Smith Classic Cars. This is something a little new today. Got my motorcycle out here. This is a 2002 Triumph Daytona 955i. So it's about a 1-liter bike. I've owned bikes for a long time, but this is my first real superbike. In high school, I had a 76 Honda 404, and that was a lot of fun. But I always was drooling over the new bikes. They were so much faster, stop better, everything. That was in the 80s, in the 90s, and I waited a long time to get this one. Ended up buying it with 4,000 miles on it for $4,000. I thought it was a pretty good deal. And it's been a nice bike. It's British, so I'm having some trouble with an oil leak here or there, and it's hard starting, but I think that's probably it's part of its character. Anyway, let me give you a closer look at it. The Daytona is Triumph's first attempt at a superbike. It first appeared in 1997 as the Daytona T595. Triumph's idea was to compete with machines like the Honda Fireblade, the Kawasaki ZX-9R, and the Yamaha Thunder Ace. The T595 did pretty well in the showrooms, but it wasn't until 2002 that Daytona really moved forward. The engine for 2002 featured a new cylinder head with narrower valve angles, larger intake valves, all forged internals, crank, connecting rods, pistons, and the compression ratio was bumped up to 12:1. All this brought the horsepower up to about 150 with 74 foot-pounds of torque. The chassis was also changed for 2002, including a steeper head angle, shorter wheelbase, lighter double-sided swing arm, and other weight-reducing measures, making it more agile than earlier models. The results are this 150 horsepower package you see before you, with a weight of about 400 pounds, and it's not too shabby. Bodywork was also lightened and completely refreshed for 2002, and beneath that bodywork, there's a fully adjustable suspension and an oval tube alloy frame that wraps around the heart of the beast, a 955cc fuel-injected inline 3-cylinder engine. Even when it was new back in 2002, the Daytona 955i wasn't necessarily cutting-edge compared to the Japanese 4s, but 18 years later it still has a lot to offer, and to me is more appealing in terms of personality and sound than anything else in this price range. It does everything well, and I'd argue has performance that exceeds most riders' ability, and certainly this rider's ability. And because it's good all around and versatile enough to be a daily driver, it's often referred to as the gentleman's sport bike. Alright, let's get geared up and go for a ride. I've not made many changes to it, and I've really just been enjoying it. It had the original tires on it when I bought it, which gave me confidence that the odometer hadn't been altered, so I put on some new tires. I flushed out the radiator and brakes, replaced some hoses, changed the starter motor and solenoid, and installed a thicker gauge starter lead so it will kick over more readily. I put on an aftermarket cam and have played with the fuel maps. It's easy to upload new maps using freeware, and I've tried a few. I've settled in on a tune that makes the mid-range a lot better than stock. It's predictable on the pipe and in the turns. It gives the rider confidence and has a balanced neutral feel. The power band is broad and isn't peaky like a Japanese 4, and it turns in nicely but never gives the impression it's going to get too frisky in the turns. Just pulls like a freight train, gows a torque from way down low and pulls hard. 4 grand and above, all the way to the red line. Riding it on the road or a track, it's hard to fault. It's plenty stable and tame, and when you want more, just twist the wrist. there's no shortage of low-end torque, and as the revs build, more and more power comes rushing in, but it's not like a switch. I love that howling 3-cylinder exhaust note. In my mind, it's poetry in a race can. Poetry in a race can. The Daytona's production finally came to an end in 2006, which is a shame, but it means you might get lucky like me and pick one up that's pretty nice like this one for cheap. Alright, well that's it for this episode of Smith Classic Cars. Thanks for checking out my Triumph. We'll see you next time.
That's the end of this episode of Smith Classic Cars. Thank you for seeing my dad's Triumph.
McKenna on the left, Jackie on the right. Sweet.